My fiance's golf buddies spent an entire morning teaching me which end of the club to hold. None of them knew I hold the amateur course record they were playing on. Ben and I had been engaged for 2 months when he finally invited me to the Saturday game with his college friends. These 4 guys were his family, real groomsmen tier friends, and I genuinely wanted them to like me. Ben knew I played. He knew more than that, actually. I played Division I in college and competed in state amateurs for years. But as we loaded my clubs into the cart, I realized from the guys' faces that he'd never told them anything. To them, I was just the fiance tagging along. Be nice, she's learning, is how his friend Paul introduced me to the group. I hadn't said a word yet. I decided, right there on the putting green, to keep my mouth shut and see what happened. Call it curiosity. Call it a character test. They failed immediately. On the first tee, Craig suggested I play from the ladies' tees. Way up there, see the red markers, sweetheart? With a pointing gesture usually reserved for giving directions to lost tourists. When I pulled my driver, Paul physically winced and said, big stick right away, okay, confident. Danny offered to shorten my swing before I'd taken a single swing for him to see. The 4th one, Marcus, asked Ben, not me, whether I knew the rules about order of play while I was standing between them. Ben laughed nervously and said nothing. I noted that too. I hit a soft, deliberately ugly punch shot down the middle and said, oopsie. The relief on their faces was incredible. Order restored. For the next 6 holes, I fed them exactly what they expected. Safe little shots, wrong questions on purpose. Which one's the sand wedge again? Every question triggered a seminar. Craig explained what par meant. Explained it. With fingers held up for counting. Danny stood behind me on the 4th hole and tried to physically adjust my grip. His hands over mine, saying, interlock like this. It's tricky for smaller hands. I stepped away and said I'd manage. He told the group, not me. She'll get it. My wife took 2 years just to make contact. By the 8th hole, they'd started betting on me like I wasn't there. $5 says she loses that sleeve of balls by the turn. 10 says she picks up on this hole. Paul, lining up a putt, told Ben, honestly man, bring her to the range a few times before you bring her out here. The club has standards about pace of play. Then he 3-putted from 12 feet, which I want on the record. The breaking point was the 9th tee. When Craig took the scorecard, crossed out the line where I'd been writing my honest scores, and said, we won't count yours, hun. No pressure that way. Just enjoy the sunshine. He patted my shoulder, patted it. Ben opened his mouth, finally, maybe, and Craig talked over him. You'll thank me, buddy. Mixed golf ruins marriages. That's when the club's head professional drove up in a cart to check pace of play. He looked at our group, looked at me, and stopped. Hang on. Elena Vasquez? Craig said. She's with us. She's just riding along mostly. The pro didn't even hear him. You probably don't remember me. I was working the scoring tent at the State AM when you shot that 65 here. Is the record still yours? 65 from the Blues? He turned to the group, delighted to share. Her name's on the board in the clubhouse. Been up there, what, 6 years now? Guys, you're playing with a legend. I have never heard silence like that on a golf course. A bird got embarrassed and stopped singing. Craig looked at the scorecard he'd crossed my name off of. Danny looked at his hands, possibly remembering where he'd put them. Paul said, wait, the E. Vasquez on the wall by the pro shop? Like there might be a second one. That's her, Ben said, and to his credit, his chest was out. And to his debit, it was about 9 holes late. I played the back 9 like myself, drove it past all of them on 10, stuck a 7-iron to 3 feet on 11 while Craig watched from the trees where his ball lived. I shot 34 on the side. Danny asked quietly, on 15, what I saw in his swing. I told him. It helped. Marcus apologized like an adult, which I accepted. Craig said almost nothing until the 18th green, where he extended his hand and said, I was a complete jackass. Progress. Ben and I had a long talk in the car about silence and who he protects and when. He listened. He's been different since in the ways that matter. The Saturday game has 5 regulars now. I play the Blues.